ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz. On today's episode, we got some superhero news for you, along with some other mixed bag of news stories. We have no trailer talk today, unfortunately, but we'll get to the new to streaming as it is the first week of May that we're covering. So you know that's going to be a heavy list. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then our main review for the episode, Dunkirk. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today by the occupant of the bigger room.
Oh, we've changed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ty has moved out of the, what were we calling it? Winterfell? I don't remember. We had a name for it at one point, like a joking name.
Did we call it Winterfell at one point? That's true.
I think we did, like very, very early on. It didn't catch on or anything, but.
Yeah, it never really became a thing, did it?
It didn't. But it was mentioned at one point.
It's all right. The Squadron is where we live. The Squadron is the name.
There we go. Sure.
That's all I need.
Bedroom of the Squadron.
It's true. But yes, it's true. Tyler has moved out. Waz, who is frequent listener and fighting Foley for #1 fan, has moved in. So if you want to move in, just got to follow us on Twitter. Maybe give us a 5-star review.
Maybe a 5-star review.
That's all you got to do. You can live for free.
If things trend the way that they have, maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, I don't know, Waz will inherit the apartment.
That's true. Yeah,
and somebody else from Best Buy will have to move in at that point.
That's the plan. Is that we keep it in the family.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yes, so it was a sad day, but it is a new dawn has arrived here at the.
Maybe we figure out some kind of living partnership with Best Buy in this apartment complex.
And start like a training
Best
program.
Best Buy employees get
free housing
discounts on housing.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Text Haley.
I'm also joined today by the moved man, Tyler Vidalis.
What's going on? I feel moved.
Yeah.
You feel moved?
You were the soon to be moving man last week.
Yep.
Now
emotionally
to the moving man.
And I have been moved.
I'll tell you, man, that
the new place is good though, right?
What's up?
I think he asked if the new place was good.
New place is great.
The new place is good though.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. It's really, really, really nice. It's been a blast. It's been an emotional blast too. So it's been a lot of fun and some other emotions come up. But yeah, like I said, this has been 6 years of my life at this place. My brother's here. I got other friends here. Obviously, Nathaniel and I have bonded. So yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride emotionally as far as that goes. But
Plus,
it feels really, really good to be in a spot with Leah and her and I get to grow, and it feels really good. So and she makes me happier and everything. So
it's the right way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Plus, there's nothing that takes it out of you physically like moving does, man.
Yeah,
it's
man.
a special type of work.
My body's beat up. Moving shit. Sure. So, and then I was over at Foley's today. I put up some TVs for him for their they just bought a house too. They moved. So they did it in the same weekend that we did. So I was over there and him and I were talking. I was like, fuck, dude. Yeah, and he's like, me too. And then Foley's an active dude, man. Foley works out daily. So
shout out Foley. You got a great bod, bro.
He's a beast. So
I'm moving out in May 15th. So I'm very much not looking forward to that.
Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, Nathaniel hit it on the head, man. Moving that's a different animal, dude. Moving furniture.
Yeah. It's funny. I heard I watch a lot of car stuff on YouTube, and I heard a reference, and this applies to that. There's people that are strong, and then there's people that are car strong, right? Like, if I put you into a car and you have to deal with a rusty bolt, just because you go to the gym and you plant, doesn't mean you're gonna get that bolt off. Like, you need a special kind of strength to get some of that shit undone on a car. And moving's the same way, man. Movers. You imagine doing that shit for a living?
The beer business.
Fuck that.
The beer business has the strongest men I've ever seen, just chucking kegs.
Man.
And stacking 4 of them and taking them downstairs and stuff. That was when I knew that you're right. There's a different kind of functional strength at work where you get
crazy.
into that. You meet one of those guys, you shake their hands, and you just know.
I bet I know how to move a TV better than most people though.
True.
I'll check that thing around.
True.
But yeah, to Nathaniel's point, man, one of my summer gigs during college one time, I worked for a moving company, and just that shit, dude, you talk about like hard labor, bro. Oh, that's tough. Moving dressers, couches, all type of stuff. And there's like you said, Nathaniel, like you shake somebody's hand, but yeah, this guy's just got a strong fucking
wild.
It's all in the grip.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Well, that sultry voice is still in the mystery machine, BlakeHolder.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
It's just in there. Still in there.
I like the idea that Blake is just permanently in a mystery machine.
Yeah. It's almost like a time machine.
My parents, they did it big when I turned 6 or 7, whatever it was.
I want you to complete it with like purple now at like age 25 or whatever.
Yeah, bro, like, I'll come over there. We'll put some big like purple drips coming down from the ceiling. Yeah. I'm down.
That'd be nuts. I'm out like, Blake, what the hell are you doing?
I can draw that out real quick. That'll be a blast.
Yeah, man.
We'll get one of those fat heads of like the whole Scooby gang behind it.
The whole gang.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then just like the four of us.
We'll put a space in between them. We'll cut it so that way you look like you're in between the gang.
Well, yeah, we'll use our.
I'll get on Photoshop, Blake.
I was gonna say you did a good job with our. You did a good job with our icons. Maybe you could draw us into the Scooby Doo style. We'll just show up there on the mystery.
I can make it work.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, we'll get some fan art going. Maybe
yes,
ourselves.
sir. Maybe we'll put on some merch. Come up with a cool design.
Hey, we're talking about it. It's been thrown out there. Well, let's get into the news here, guys. Our first news story of the day. Oscar winner Another Round set for remake by Endeavor Content, Appian Way, and Makeready. And you might be confused to why Another Round is being remade, as I am, because it came out last year, 2020.
It did.
It's being remade. It's a foreign film. That's, I guess, the main reason.
Yeah, it's
that
Dutch.
They might be. That's pretty much the main reason why they're remaking it. I don't understand. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen. It's not like it's some random, foreign actor you don't recognize. Mads Mikkelsen is a Hollywood star. I don't know why this needs to be remade. And apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio, is in talks to potentially take the lead role on this.
Sure.
I don't know.
I immediately thought of 12 More Rounds with John Cena.
The WWE film from like 05. What were you gonna say, Adam?
I was just wondering, like, what is there really a reason this needs to be remade? Why can't people just watch a foreign film? It just frustrates me.
You know, it's
Nathaniel,
one of those things.
Anything can be good.
Anything can be good. That's true.
You know.
I mean, for context, Another Round is I believe it's Thomas Vinterberg, if not Vinter.
Yeah,
but it's
Thomas Vinterberg.
It's a Danish film starring Mads Mikkelsen, which basically I think the premise is about 4 or 5 friends who have been friends for a long time experiment with maintaining a constant level of drunkenness. So like it's like they're like microdosing with alcohol basically, and that's like living their life and how that affects them and everything. It won a ton of awards.
Mads Mikkelsen is a high school teacher in this.
Yes, won a ton of awards. Was the foreign language nominee? Did it win at the Oscars for best foreign language film?
I believe it did. Yeah.
Okay, and now
it did.
And so Apollonian Way is DiCaprio's production company. So they've acquired it to now remake it as an American film, if I'm summarizing correctly. And they're thinking about starring DiCaprio in it as well. Yeah, I mean it's just the foreign language thing. It always is. It's unfortunate, the reality is like guys like us, all of us will show up for a foreign language film no matter what. But the reality is most of the American public just cannot get over subtitles, and they don't do that well. And eventually, I think Parasite broke down that barrier a little bit and kind of has brought that up a little bit more. And I think it's changing a little bit because I think theater audiences are changing a little bit. But the American movie complex and the American content kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? When you consume the American consumer, the American entertainment
The
consumer. Just is not at the place for a foreign language film at the moment.
Sure. Yeah.
Is just
Hell,
my reading of it, I guess you could call it.
And I mean, hell, dude, there's even a lot of people who don't even like subtitles, and that's 100% a foreign language, right?
Plus, I mean, just DiCaprio, you hear the name and you hear that he's going to be in a movie about drinking all the time, and you're like,
watch it.
You're automatically in. Yeah, you get the Wolf of Wall Street people in off of that. And there's a long history of this too. There's a long history of the Danish films coming over and being remade. They just remade. There was a one from a few years ago called Force Majeure, which got remade as a movie called Downhill with Will Ferrell and Julie Louis-Dreyfus just earlier this year.
Yeah.
But it's like anything. Hollywood's a business.
It sure is.
Yep.
Indeed it is. All right. Well, for our next news story, Godzilla vs. Kong director Adam Wingard in talks for Legendary's next MonsterVerse film.
Oh, okay. I had heard he was taking a look at something else too. Do you say what the MonsterVerse film is?
So there's the speculation is this very early speculation that it might be something along the lines of Son of Kong. That's like the only thing that's been thrown out there.
Wow.
But this is very early on. The story talks about how Legendary was, after King of Monsters didn't do as well as they wanted it to. It cost $170 million to make and only grossed $386. So they were thinking of kind of taking their foot off the gas on the monster movies, and then they made Godzilla vs. Kong. They weren't sure what the plans were after that release, but because of the huge success of Godzilla vs. Kong, like it's got over 400 million globally since March 31st. So like in a month, it's already made 400 million.
Gotcha.
It has even been released in UK, Brazil, Japan, some of these bigger markets. So because of the success of Godzilla vs. Kong, they, I guess, are going to restart and relook at what they're going to do with these monster films. But it looks like Adam Wingard's in early talks to take up the directing spot of the next one.
Yeah, man. I'm cool with Adam Wingard taking that. I mean, he did good on Godzilla vs. Kong. So if anyone else is going to go ahead and do the remaining series or the remaining MonsterVerse, I mean, it should without a doubt be him. So it's got the right balance of monsters and then the actual human characters, where, as we kind of all discussed, like no one there really goes to see the human characters, right? We just want to see the monsters fight. He gave it to us. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm I get a little concerned they're misreading how much people like enjoyed that movie versus how much that movie was like, we're back at movie theaters now and it's just an escape kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
I could agree with that.
I don't know if you can expect that same sort of popularity on the next one. But that being said, I had a good enough time at that one. I'll happily sit through another one. I don't know if I love Son of Kong. I'd almost rather do like more of the weirder monsters that you can get to in the universe and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's just, like when they
like
pull all
a
that stuff up on the
monster
screen.
Yeah,
and
like
you see all those different monsters. It's so crazy how much different stuff there is in there.
There's like Anguirus, the giant porcupine one, or there's the one with the drills on the hands that dives under the earth and pops up and stuff.
Yeah, that's the first person I thought of too. First character I thought of, I should say. I can't think of the name either, Nathaniel.
Yeah, maybe you go like cosmic with it. Like they pick up Godzilla and like take him away to another planet to fight other monsters or something like that. They've done that in the different movies before or something. Just get weird with it. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, I think for me it just kind of depends on what this next monster movie is.
Sure.
Because Wingard, I do think he did a good job with Godzilla vs. Kong, but I don't really know if I have that much of an interest in a Son of Kong or something like that. I think maybe a Mothra solo movie would be cool.
Mothra's dope, man.
Yeah, they didn't really touch on Mothra on this one at all, right?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're thinking of Gigan.
Is that what it is?
That how you pronounce it?
Yeah, okay. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
I'm just trying to move it. I want to get it done and out of the way. It's like when you're trying to open a door when you come home late and you don't want your parents to know and you're trying to do it real slow, but it's fucking loud as shit.
If you couldn't tell, listeners, that was Tyler messing with his mic.
Yeah.
Papa Schwartz, I've never done that. I don't know what Tyler's talking about.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Any establishments.
I used to just sneak people in.
Well, you were a bad kid.
Come on. Things work different when there's not a lot of things
That's
to do.
true. All right, you're fair enough. Fair enough.
That's Woodstock, man. What a place to grow up.
Wild times.
You weren't a bad kid. You were a little bit of a troublemaker, though. We'll say.
Sure.
Yeah,
Who was it? But I never got caught.
That's true.
Never got caught.
I mean, half of being a teenager is having a nose for a trouble.
Well, the best part is everyone's like, "Oh, being a middle child, you don't get enough attention." That's a good thing.
You could slide under the radar.
Exactly.
I can't confirm.
People just are like, "He's fine. Everything's
It's
fine."
fine. He's the one we don't have to worry
Yep.
about.
Yeah.
I can't confirm as a fellow middle child.
It's good
It's a
stuff.
blessing and a curse, so.
Are you neither confirming nor denying, or are you saying you can as in CAN?
Well, what do you mean? I'm sorry.
Never mind. I'm too far into the weeds on this one.
Okay.
What we got next?
All right.
Black Panther
Yeah,
2?
well, we don't know when the next MonsterVerse movie is coming out, but we do have a little updated slate for the Marvel movies that are coming out. They just announced these, I believe it was today.
I was gonna say this was like today,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. About as hot as they come off the presses.
But bit of sizzle, folks.
But a sizzle. Marvel unveils Black Panther 2 title, first Eternals footage, and more. It was like a 3.5 minute like compilation of like, oh, this is where we were, and then this is what's gonna come. I don't know if you guys watched it, but I woke up to it on Twitter. But regardless, they showed their first footage of Eternals, which it wasn't enough to really gauge what that show's good or what that's.
Yeah, it seemed to be just kind of a series of character shots for the most part,
It
right?
was just like very quick few shots. But then the more exciting news was we got release dates for a bunch of upcoming movies, and the title of the second Black Panther movie is going to be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and it's going to be due out July 8th, 2022. And then on top of that, we have Captain Marvel 2 is going to be called The Marvels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think
And then
this is
that'll be
where
out November
Kamala Harris comes in?
11th.
Or not Kamala Harris.
She might show up.
Yeah, she might actually.
She might show up.
Kamala Khan.
Yeah, I think so. Well, no,
Yeah.
she's got her own Ms. Marvel movie,
Yeah.
but I think or TV series, but I think that's probably where
Yeah.
they split in. And maybe we'll see Photon again from
True.
WandaVision.
True.
Yeah, I don't think it says anything in the story about that, but that's due out November 11th, 2022. And then we're also getting Ant-Man and the Wasp
Quantumania.
which is, February 17th, 2023.
Is
And
Paul
then
Rudd going to
the
look too old for this movie?
No, Paul Rudd doesn't age. We know this.
I don't
Paul
know.
Rudd
I think he's
doesn't
one
age.
of them.
He's like Jennifer Aniston. He's like Jennifer Lopez.
He is an Eternal.
Male version. Yeah.
No,
he is
Betty
an-
White's an Eternal.
What did
Betty
we
White's
have on-
Betty White's an immortal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What'd you ask, Blake?
I was like, what did we have on here that had Paul Rudd in? And everyone was like, dude, I totally forgot Paul Rudd.
Forgetting Sarah
Forgetting
Marshall.
Sarah Marshall, yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Kunu.
Yeah. And he looks the same. That movie's what, probably 10
Dude,
plus years
yeah.
old?
I see. I mean, my sister, I guess, was watching Friends, and I would see him on there for his like.
Oh, he's like 25
Oh, he's
in
on
that.
Friends. Wow.
Yeah.
short
Never known
but
that.
he still looks the same.
Does he
He
look the
does.
same?
I just don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Like, man doesn't age. I don't know. Good for him though. I'm glad because it means I get to see him in more stuff because he can stay relevant.
Yeah.
Man, 2022 is just one of those years that you constantly think of as being like 6 years off. But it's next year, you know what I mean? Like I hear the
Yeah.
I hear the
I'm still stuck in,
phrase
like, 2017.
yeah, I hear the phrase like May 2022 and I'm like, oh, man, we got to wait a long time for that. It's like, no, it's
Yeah,
8 months
yeah.
from now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Time is weird, man. Time moves so fast to me until I see it. I would say it this way. It's almost like I don't realize how fast time is going until I start seeing like on this day 5 years ago, and it's either like
Sure.
an album release or a movie release.
right.
And I'm like,
Dude,
holy
did you,
shit.
you know
dude.
what threw me off was the 2 years ago today Endgame released like a week ago.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
I'm
was like, oh my god, dude.
Eh,
That
well,
was-
that's
That's the
not
stuff that kills me.
that's just because 2020 was just like permanently erased from my memory. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
Dude, it was
kinda-
like it was a
like a
real
gap.
life fucking blip.
I know.
For real.
kind of was.
But yeah, now we're just all a year older, and, and like that's it.
Yeah.
No one got
Dude,
to
we're
stay the
almost
same age.
halfway through 2021.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Just
Isn't that
let
crazy?
sink in, dude.
All right, moving on. I guess.
Well, yeah,
do we have any
yeah,
more
we'll
thoughts on
finish
that?
This one out. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the last one announced, May 5th, 2023. I think that was the last one, but a bunch of new announcements. These all seem great. I'm very excited for pretty much all of these. Until Marvel misses, I'm gonna stay excited for these.
They don't.
They have a tough time.
They got my money.
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of a peek at what Marvel's up to, but we also got a peek at what DC is up to over on HBO Max.
What a segue, folks.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm telling you, your segue game has been top notch last few weeks or so. I should just call you the mayor of the new segues. Like, I need you bring back that company.
Segway?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it folded.
Did they?
I think
felt
so.
like they're still around, but I could be wrong.
No idea.
They probably got steamrolled by, if they didn't adapt to the hoverboards, they probably got steamrolled
There you go.
back in 2015.
Yeah.
I can't believe you still sell those at Best Buy. That's hilarious to me. But anyway, Finn Wittrock to star in Green Lantern on HBO Max. So Finn Wittrock from American Horror Story and Ratchet is going to be playing one of the, I guess, multiple, as the story description reads of the new show. There's going to be multiple Green Lanterns in this, featured in this. So he'll be
As there
playing,
should be.
I guess, the main one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would assume that'd be the other lanterns in the core with him, not like multiple versions of like Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart, right?
Correct.
Well, here's the description, the official show description. Green Lantern reinvents the classic DC property through a story spanning decades and galaxies, beginning on Earth in 1941 with the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, and 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner and half-alien Bree Jarda. They'll be joined by a multitude of other lanterns, from comic book favorites to never-before-seen heroes.
Wait, so they just throw the secretly gay as in there as like a qualifier on that? What an insane bit of copywriting.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not just have that be a character reveal?
Right. Let's just put that out there before the show even starts.
Right, like
that could be a huge plot point.
But it's just not an identifier. Like
Right.
even if you don't want to treat it as like a plot point or something like that, which there's a good argument that maybe you shouldn't, but just like
it could just come out.
Absolutely.
Right.
It could just be something we
why
get
is
to
he
learn.
not just another character in
Right.
this?
Right.
Weird.
Um,
On a good start, on a good roll so far, DC.
Guy Gardner, do you guys care about him as a Green Lantern? He's the one I feel like I know least about. The thing I mostly know him for is like the origin of like the phrase fridging the girlfriend or fridging the wife. Like that comes from Guy Gardner's Green Lantern run.
I'm not even too aware of kind of Green.
Is Finn playing Guy, or have we not? He is.
Right?
Okay, because
Yes, he's playing Guy.
He looks like a guy.
He'd be a good guy. Yeah, he's got the cocky.
He's got the big chin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spoiled rich
Green
kid kind
Lantern.
of vibe.
He's got like the nice whooshy hair.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll be a good guy. I think they could play him out fine. It'll be interesting to see how Guy interacts with a gay guy.
Sure.
Because Guy is typically more of like your bro.
Sure.
Especially back when like he was first written.
Yeah, it's just I know Hal Jordan would just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the thing.
So yeah, it'll be weird if they kind of make that. Maybe that's why they're making that distinction early.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't trust
The
DC's
description
writing.
I don't
makes
either.
it sound. Sorry. The description makes it sound like there might be two different timelines kind of going, because it says it begins in Earth 1941 with the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, and 1984.
Okay, yeah, good
with
point.
cocky alpha male Guy Gardner.
Got it.
So
But-
it sounds like they'll be kind of going on maybe simultaneously.
Well, I
or
mean,
maybe they intersect somehow.
there's a good chance he passes the ring on to Guy at that point. With
Maybe,
those
yeah.
timelines, I would say.
True.
So then you might almost get like a Batman Beyond situation where you have like an older Lantern there to like guide Guy into it or something like that. That
But
could be
typically,
kind
if
of
the ring gets passed on, it's because the Lantern died.
Sure.
But I guess we'll see what
We'll
happens.
see how they handle it.
Yeah. I'm very
there's
curious to see how the suit's
no
gonna look.
real
You think they'll CGI it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think there's 0% chance they CGI the
Yeah,
suit.
there's no way. Yeah. There's no really information on when this might start filming or when we can expect to release this, but Finn Wittrock just finished like filming his latest season of American Horror Story, I believe. So production maybe sometime later this year, I think. Yeah, I guess
That's
we'll keep
cool.
an eye out for that.
Yeah, I've enjoyed him on his various American Horror Story stuff and kind of the other things he's done overall. I think he's a pretty decent actor. So I like Tyler said, I think this will be a good spot for him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Green Lantern is expected to begin filming later this year. So that's
Got it.
confirmed. Cool. Well, that's it for the news here, guys. No trailer talk this week, so we're going to get into the Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of May 1st through May 8th, which is actually 8 days, but I just kind of crammed the first week all into one.
Gonna be a big one.
It is going to be a somewhat big one, not the biggest we've had, not the best we've had, but it is solid, especially after a very dry very dry month that April was, because April, it felt like every week after the first week was like, there's like a few things, but
Well, it is a subjective list, so.
but trust me, when my lists are short, that means the lists I have to choose from.
Fair
are
enough.
also short.
Sure.
Yeah. To Netflix, the Back to the Future trilogy is coming back. Which I don't know when that left, but I don't know how long it'll be here either. But you got
Cool.
you got that to watch. You watched the first one, right, Nathaniel?
He did.
Yeah, recently I went back in
Recently,
on it. I actually loved it. I really enjoyed it. I want to go back in and watch the second one. I've seen maybe 45 minutes of the second one. I haven't finished it, and that's because I just saw it like in school on like a rainy day or something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to go back in on those.
Yeah, well, you can do so on Netflix. Due date.
Oh,
Mystic River.
sorry. Due Date just always makes me laugh. It's just a weird
Due
movie.
Date is a wild movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Mystic River from 2003. Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted.
Yes.
Scarface, which I think this might be the point once I get home. This might be the point where I finally have to sit down and watch that.
I've never seen Scarface either, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind.
It's one of those ones, everyone's got there's movies that are considered classics or like well known that you just haven't seen, and it's just one of those ones for me.
Holy shit. Yeah, we'll definitely watch it.
We have a lot of those. Resident Evil Afterlife and Resident Evil Extinction.
Could you have any idea which ones those are just based off the titles alone?
Ooh, one of them is definitely the one that's in Las Vegas, and like the whole scene is like a desert.
Okay, that's supposedly like the best one, right?
Yes.
Are you guys talking about Monster Hunter?
That's Afterlife.
I think that one's Extinction.
That might be Extinction.
It's yeah. I think that's. Who knows? Like, I generally, if I said there's a movie called Resident Evil Annihilation, would you guys believe me? Because I don't know. It could be.
Without a doubt.
It
Yeah.
could be a movie. I don't know if it is or not. It very easily
It
might
might
be. If it's not
Let me
a
look up-
if it's not a Resident Evil movie, it's definitely an Underworld movie.
Oh man. Yeah.
Sorry, that's a tangent. We can keep going with the list.
Sure. State of Play.
Great movie. Recommend if you haven't seen it, specifically for you, Adam. I think you'd like it.
I'll add it to the watch list. Land Before Time and Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure.
Awesome. Love Land Before Time and Land Before Time 2. Chopper's my boy.
Have
Chomper.
you seen those, Adam?
Dude, aren't those the dinosaur ones?
I mean, yeah, because those are like super dated. Where like I'd be surprised if you even saw those. That's like stuff I saw growing up.
Yes,
First one's
I have.
88.
Okay.
I just looked it up. Yeah,
Jesus,
I remember
they're that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one's 88. The second one's 94.
Ginny Nicholson, who's a YouTuber, has a great breakdown where she watched all 14 Land Before Time films at like the start of
Wait, there's
lockdown.
14?
Yeah.
What?
It's like a 45-minute video where she breaks down and ranks all of them. It's really good. If anyone is interested in that one for like
Wild.
just a fun watch on YouTube.
I go on YouTube rabbit holes. I might find that one.
Littlefoot was my shit, man.
Littlefoot's the best, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Petrie's my dude too,
Netflix.
man.
Petrie's great, but Petrie always complains.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I
Chomper.
think that's why like I relate, like I'm okay with it because like I had Justin my whole life.
It's a little bit of Petrie
Yeah,
vibes
and
there.
a dog, dude, total Petrie guy, just shaking around all the Totally Petrie.
That's mean. Justin, I love you.
I love you too. That's why you're my Petrie.
Also to Netflix. The Pelican Brief. Have you seen that one, Nathaniel?
I have not. No.
That's one that came up in my, I think I mentioned this class before, but my politics and Hollywood class, as a rather important one for like journalism and government and stuff. So I might check that one out.
Yeah, State of Play is also a journalism movie too.
Yeah. This next one's for Blake. Under Siege.
What's that? Have I?
That's the Steven Seagal
I
one.
was gonna say it's the Steven Seagal one, right?
Oh yeah.
On the boat.
Shout out Steven Seagal, man.
And then your last addition to Netflix, Zombieland.
Okay, not bad.
Sure.
Which
Actually, a pretty good lineup for Netflix, man. Because
where did the sequel come out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zombieland
2 came out.
Yeah.
like,
I never saw it. I never saw it. I was gonna
19?
say, like, did that get delayed because of COVID?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
That makes sense.
It is. I like it.
If I
don't know if
ever
I've seen
find
it
it
yet.
on one of these new streaming lists, I'll
You
probably
should check it out.
No, yeah,
I think I will.
Yeah, I think it even it comes out 10 years later. So I think even like in the movie world, it takes place 10 years later.
Yeah, but the
That
funniest
was
bit
something
is
like that.
because like pop culture stopped in 2009. Everyone's still in like 2009,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
personality types. So
Yeah.
they're still like the Valley Girl and everything. It's great.
Yeah, it's funny, man. You guys will like it.
All right. Well, to Amazon Prime, we're getting Alien Resurrection, and Alien 3.
Dope.
Ooh.
Weird they didn't get Aliens.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think they did. I might have skipped over it by accident.
That-
but
that
I'm
might
pretty
even
sure
be
I
on
got all
HBO
the
Max
aliens.
already.
I think it is on HBO Max, right? We watched it on HBO Max not too long ago. You and I did.
We probably did, yeah. I couldn't remember if that was Alien or Aliens.
It was Aliens.
Yeah. You're right.
What else we got, Adam?
Angels and Demons. One I've not seen.
That's the
follow-up.
sequel to
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, got it. Still Tom
Well,
Hanks?
Yes.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Da Vinci Code are also coming to Amazon Prime. It's
Hmm.
further down the list, but I will mention that now. Battle of the Sexes. Have you guys seen this one?
No, that's the
Steve Carell, Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Tennis
The
movie.
Billie Jean King, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
like this film.
it's fine. It's
You would have seen it because it's a tennis movie, yeah?
I saw it because I think I did see it mainly because it was a tennis movie, but I had to review it for my high school newspaper, or at least I went to go see it with the person who reviewed it or something like that. Yeah, but I've seen it. It's fine. If you want to check it out, I think it's worth watching, but don't go out of your way for it. Also, to Amazon Prime, Jumper. Hey. A classic. And then they're also getting Resident Evil and Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, that's the one that's in the desert, isn't it?
No, it's
Is it
Monster
really?
Hunter.
I don't know, dude. It might be.
They're also getting the 2009 Star Trek, which is
Good.
where do you rank that in the trilogy there, Nathaniel?
I haven't
or
seen
two?
3.
You haven't seen 3?
I've seen all of them. I like them all.
I think one's
They're
definitely
all
better
good.
than 2.
They're all good.
Yeah.
I think
I
2's the
love,
weakest.
One's
Two's
definitely
generally
the best.
regarded as the weakest.
One is
I'll have to ask
so
my dad
good
after
because it gets you
Siege
back
Star
into that
Trek.
universe, and
Mhm.
it just it grabs you and it pulls you in, and
Yeah.
it's just it's really well written. Chris Pine's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Dude, Chris Pine is great.
Adam's favorite actor is really good.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Eli Roth's in it. He plays Spock.
Yeah, man, he plays an incredible Spock. He does that character really well.
Yeah.
And I've actually watched a little bit of the background stuff on him playing Spock and just how deep he really had to dive into that character and all the stuff he watched from the older Star Treks and everything like that. And he did a really good job, especially for that time period.
Harold from Harold and Kumar Goes to Space.
He does. And then we got
R.I.P. Anton Yelchin.
yeah, man, like just an incredible actor.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, good movie.
Still the most bankable.
Chris Hemsworth.
I swear Zoe Saldana has to have the highest profit margin of any actress ever.
Yeah.
You've got Star Trek,
Check.
Avatar,
Check.
Avengers,
Check.
and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Check.
Monster. If
She's a
Zoe
beast.
Saldana's in your movie, you're making money.
Facts.
Also to Amazon Prime, State of Play. They're also getting that one.
Oh, cool.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Bad.
They're getting The Land Before Time as well. The Men Who Stare at Goats. The Sixth Sense, one that I need to check out.
Sweet.
Yeah,
We might have to get that on here one of these times, dude.
be definitely
That's a
good.
super horror classic. Yeah.
I'd rather do science.
Snowpiercer,
Both good.
Snowpiercer, and Skyfall.
Hmm.
That's gonna be your Amazon Prime new streaming. To Hulu, you're getting
Hulu.
500 Days of Summer,
Okay.
I Am Legend,
Hmm.
Machete from 2010, Predator and Predator 2,
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued with that.
Reservoir Dogs, the
Oh my
Resident
God. More Resident Evil movies.
Resident
Okay,
Evil,
I will
Afterlife,
say this.
Apocalypse, and Extinction.
I think the Las Vegas one is Extinction.
I think you're right.
I had to put a bet on it.
I think you're right. I think Apocalypse is the
And-
second one because that 2004 has got to be the second one, and then I think you're right.
Gotta
I think Extinction is the Vegas one.
Yeah.
Maybe we should review them on pod.
Sure, why not?
Man.
Let's go for it.
We would rip those things in half. But yeah,
Man,
sure.
we would have to have absolutely nothing else to review.
It'd really open up the bottom of the list.
That's true.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, no.
It might give American Pickle a run for its money at the bottom.
I don't know about that one.
Also just unfettered
Fucking
hatred.
hates that movie,
Yeah,
dude. It's so good.
It's one of my favorite things.
Also to Hulu, The A-Team, The Iron Giant, Train to Busan.
Vin Diesel.
Listeners, please watch. If you have not seen Train to Busan, please watch it.
Yeah, check that out.
100%.
I might try to.
That's a great movie.
Skyfall is also coming to Hulu. That's gonna be your complete list there for Hulu. HBO Max, they're getting 17 again, which is I've watched that over winter.
Is that
break,
Zac
so-
Efron, Matthew Perry?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all right. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Of course.
I remember when that came out, and I was like, "This is an
Me
absolutely
too.
wild concept." But I
Me too.
might
That's
check
high
this out.
school.
I probably watch it at some point. But
Yeah.
HBO Max is also getting Black Hawk Down,
Oh,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Johnny Depp edition, 2005. Daddy Daycare, which was a very formative movie for me. That was one of the ones when I was a child that I watched constantly. That along with
Yeah,
what's the Steve Martin one? Cheaper by the Dozen.
City Slickers.
HBO Max is also getting Darkest Hour, Dumb and Dumber, Good Morning Vietnam, Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2, Hercules, Mortal Kombat, Rush Hour 2, and Rush Hour 3. They're
the
getting
Rush Hour
Tenet.
trilogy. I like
They're
that.
getting Tenet. So here's our first opportunity to watch it with subtitles. Is anybody planning on going back?
I think I will actually.
Yeah, I would encourage you guys to. I've seen
kinda-
it a few times.
Yeah, I've seen it
definitely
twice.
I'll probably just watch it
Like,
at
about
home.
3 times.
Yeah, I'll watch it
Yeah.
on here. I own a
Yeah.
copy at this point.
Yeah.
I'll just watch it on there with the subtitles on. But
Definitely.
that'll be my
see how
second time
it's
seeing it. I still haven't seen it a second
I haven't
time. Yeah.
I still want to try it with the subtitles because I think it might really open it up. But if I watch it with the subtitles and I still feel meh, that's my final opinion. That's its
Alright,
last
fair enough.
chance. Also HBO Max, Varsity Blues, When Harry Met Sally, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from 71. 300 Rise of an Empire, West Side Story.
Oh.
That's the original West Side Story from Turner Classic Movies is coming. And then Greenland, which is the
Gerard
recent
Butler
disaster
one.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gerard Butler disaster. movie
Supposedly
from
that's good.
2020. Was it good?
Yeah, apparently it's
Looked like another-
it's like slightly different from all those. There's something about I don't know a ton about it. I just know that there's something that is like subversive in the setup to those other disaster movies. So
Oh,
I've heard it's
good,
actually pretty
good.
decent.
Isn't
Oh,
Gerard
okay.
Butler in Geostorm?
Yeah,
I'm tripping.
he's seemingly making a lot of those nowadays.
Okay, yeah, that's what I
Maybe
thought.
he's just really into weather.
Could be.
He could be, yeah.
And making money.
That also helps.
Yeah.
To Disney Plus, you're getting a few Star Wars things. We got Star Wars: The Bad Batch Episode 1. Tyler, you plan on checking this out?
Yeah, hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
should be really, really good.
I haven't gone through Clone Wars all the way through yet, so I
Plus
don't think
Disney don't miss.
Disney don't miss.
Disney don't miss.
And then there's 2 other Star Wars things that are like smaller. There's Star Wars biomes and Star Wars vehicle fly-throughs.
Whoa.
They're kind of just like the biomes one is like I'll read the description. Take a virtual vacation to some of the Star Wars film's most iconic and beloved locations like Hoth, Tatooine, and Sorgon. As this charming series whisks you off for flyover tours of a galaxy far, far away.
Okay.
And,
I'm down for
Sounds
that.
like Star Tours.
Yeah.
Star Tours, the show.
And then there's also Star Wars vehicle fly-throughs. Get up close and personal with 2 of the Star Wars film's most iconic and beloved ships as this charming content leads viewers on an exploration of the memorable interiors and exteriors of the Millennium Falcon and an Imperial Star Destroyer.
Sounds right.
Just sounds like a bunch of lore stuff, so if you're into that, maybe check them out.
Yeah, I think those would be cool. Little go nap shows.
Well, it is it is
Yeah.
May the 4th, so I'm sure it's got to do with that. They might be releasing those then. But yeah, those do sound like
they are releasing
good
on
kind of chill shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll basically it. You're also getting Bad Batch episode 2 on Friday. I should probably add that on. So Tuesday is episode 1, and then Friday.
Sick.
Awesome.
Oh, it's looking like Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is also coming on Friday. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
I like that movie. That's like a guilty pleasure of mine. I know
The
it's
Silver Surfer one ain't
guilty
too bad.
pleasure, just like what you like. I like that movie.
There you
Those
go.
are like that one and the first one and the second one are like 2 of the first superhero movies I remember seeing.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
no, it's dope. Chris Evans is in them.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
The most versatile
what's her name?
superhero alive.
Jessica Alba. That's dope, man.
Yeah, I think it's a good
So
movie.
that's your
Decent.
complete objective streaming list.
Cool.
We're gonna get into what we're watching here. I can no longer say Ty and Nathaniel since you guys are separated. So why don't you guys like decide amongst yourselves who wants to go first?
We still got a little bit together
Yeah,
this
we
week.
were mostly
Cause
together
because
this week.
Nathaniel was off the beginning half of the week and I was off the back half. So we still got a little bit together. But this will probably be one of the last weeks that we have a majority together.
True. That being said, what did we watch? Because I've forgotten everything.
We finished Initial D.
We did. We finished Initial D.
Well, at least of what we can get our hands on.
Right, because it is a show that is impossible to find the end
The
of
fifth
it here.
stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really great. I've been through that more than a handful of times, and it was rather enjoyable to have Nathaniel watch it.
Passed that on to someone else too.
Yeah, we were talking about that. So I'm glad we got through that. Man, what else? You've been through a little bit of movies.
I went to the movies. I went and saw Demon Slayer the movie.
Yep.
Actually, me and Waz went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
How was that?
my buddies are watching that downstairs right now. I haven't finished Demon Slayer, so I didn't watch it with them, and I had to record this, of course. But they found some link for a free bootleg.
Yeah, that's like everyone's
Allegedly.
been talking about that. Allegedly, there's been a lot of stuff on like anime Instagram that have been talking about that. But anyways, it's good. It looks beautiful. It is. It's well acted. If you've seen any of the show, it's just like the show, but just times 10.
Right.
The thing about it is that it is literally like the next installment of the series of the storyline. So if you don't see the movie and like just go into season 2, like I don't quite understand how they're gonna get away with that. Which might be why there are all of these kind of like links floating around or something. Because I can see this like coming to Funimation later as like something that you watch, so that you can before you go into season
Absolutely.
2. But that being said, really cool. If you're a fan of the show, you'll like it because it is literally just the next installments in the show. As a movie, I was a little bit lukewarm on it just because it doesn't really follow a ton of like movie telling tropes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, does it have to? You already have a season of a show. You don't need to. I mean, I haven't seen it, so maybe I'll feel the same way when I do.
It's just
But I feel
like it's not even a
have
movie
it for
pacing.
Okay, is it more of like just a bunch of episodes? crammed together?
Yeah, it's like 2 episodes back to
Okay.
back. So that's where I'm like, okay, well, as a movie thing, I think we could have done something a little different, or like with like One Piece or something like that. They actually set a story that's kind of side quill to the main story and just kind of takes place off screen or something like that. And you can get into a little bit more interesting ideas, I feel like, that way. Obviously, you've got to return to the status quo, but then you can, lean into it being a bit of a movie a bit more. But still, worth checking out. I think everyone, if you've seen the show, you're going to enjoy it, obviously. But other than that, man, we watched most of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
On the new OLED as our test movie.
Yep.
Hey.
That's been a little bit kind of Nick Merckx and YouTube for me, mostly other than that. Obviously, like during the moving process, we just kind of had stuff rolling on in the background. I think that was mostly just Twitch or YouTube and everything. What else you been getting into, Ty?
I was watching a whale documentary.
Oh yeah,
on Disney Plus, like right before I came. It's called The Secret of Whales.
Okay.
Leah and I were eating dinner, and I was like, I'm gonna catch something right before we go. So we caught a little bit of that. Narrated by Sigourney Weaver, the one and only.
Who's never been in a bad movie, as we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. So that was really good. Leah had never quite finished the end of Black Panther, and
oh wow,
that is a movie that I hold very highly in my list of things that I could watch almost uncontrollably. Excuse me. So she had seen the beginning parts enough. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's skip a little bit.
Sure.
And then we'll figure out like what you really don't remember at all. And so we got through, I would say, more than half.
Gotcha.
And that was always just a pleasure for me, especially on the new TV. It was a really good one to break out.
That reminds me, I watched most of Fast and Furious, the first one, this week as well, to test out the new TV as well. So was inspired by, obviously us watching it, or watching Tokyo Drift last week and the new one coming out and everything. Now I get to play the game of actually knowing what the cars are, though, and trying to figure out. Yeah. Too.
Yeah, it's funny because I'll send you things and you'll be like, wait, is that and I'll be like, yeah, or I'll be like, no.
Well, it's like I have to, like, I can see them, I can tell them mostly by sight and how people are talking about them now. But when there's so much variety between cars too, and like so much personalization, it is tough for me to.
It's very hard, especially if they got like a body kit on it.
Well, yeah, and like the GTR, there's 4 iterations, all that look somewhat similar to each other. So,
man, I think other than that, it was mainly YouTube and Twitch. Nikki's on a tournament right now. He might be. I don't think he's still going.
Nah, he's down.
I think he was ending like right when I was coming in. But yeah, a lot of Tim, a lot of car stuff. Dustin Williams got a new Jeep. Kind of hyped about that.
Yeah, I got to get back on that stuff.
Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I think. Yeah. Oh, we got. I put the Samsung up in the bedroom.
Oh yeah,
the frame.
Yeah.
So we have like Samsung TV Plus.
Oh sure, yeah. And that has just a billion channels.
It's
on
got
it, right?
stupid channels. Yeah. I watched Dog the Bounty Hunter for like 30 minutes.
Like I feel like those are just the channels of just like there was one that we get on at work that's just like a channel of Australian Wipeout.
Yeah.
Like, why is that a thing? It's just stuff that plays at the doctor's office.
I found Tiny House Nation.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, which I got into for probably about an hour. But yeah, other than that, real dumb.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, it's moving week. Your brain's all over the place for the most part.
Leah I was singing the Bounty Hunter song because it's like just drilled in my brain.
Of course, yeah.
And she's like, "How do you know that song?" And I was like, "I really just don't want to talk about it." I'm the
dog. Blake, I know you went to the movies this week, right?
Yeah, man. So I'll take it away. I got a decent list here. So I ended up getting to the first 3 Saws.
Ooh,
so I watched
damn.
Saw 1, 2, and 3. The first one that's directed by James Wan,
our boy.
We've kind of gone down here and gave him a ton of praise. One of the better horror directors. The second 2, I should say 2, 3. That I think maybe even like 4 and 5.
Yeah, Darren.
Be by Darren. Was it Boosum? I don't know how you pronounce that.
Bausman. He's and he's the one that's doing Spiral.
Oh, okay, yeah. And the first one's awesome.
Yeah.
The first one's a super classic. The second one is, I would probably say, is the second best Saw, in my opinion.
Yes.
I'm gonna see if I can rewatch all of them and then kind of rank them. The third one is just, I think, is when it really started to go downhill.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll try and hit that binge with you this week, and then we can go see Spiral, and then we can both kind of talk about it maybe a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll save that. First one, super awesome though. James Wan, 10 out of 10. And then I ended up getting to the movies, as Nathaniel said, and I actually saw In the Earth. So that's a horror movie that just came out. That's going to be directed by, let me see if I can get the director for you on this one. That's going to be a Ben Wheatley.
Yes, okay, that's what I thought it was. He did Kill List.
Any of the other work that he's done?
Yeah, he did Kill List, and then I believe he also did. I want to say High Rise was his as well.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Kill List is a story about a hitman who is sent on a mission to try and find these guys that I think the setup is that they might be pedophiles as well, but then it just gets really like culty and weird and twisted, and it's really a good one. If you're into kind of like more of a just that British, almost like that Descent style horror. That it's that British like dark, gritty, like just down in the muck horror. It's a good one. And then High Rise is a adaptation of a J.G. Ballard novel, in which it's set in basically in like mid 80s London, and everyone has taken to living in these high-rise apartment buildings, and then it starts kind of like this class war between like the people at the top and the people at the bottom and everything. It stars Tom Hiddleston and Luke Evans, I want to say. I think it's really cool. It's a pretty decent movie, but it's also definitely like an indie film. It's going to take a certain mood for most people to like it, but how's In the Earth? I'm really interested to hear this without spoiling as much as you can.
Yeah. I kind of went in blind, and it's good, not excellent, right? Not shitty though. We do know that horror movies can be incredibly bad, right? So
sure.
I would definitely say it's kind of in the middle. It's up my genre of horror though, so it's not really gory. It's very much a kind of psychological type thing. It reminds me a lot of like a combination of like Annihilation and It Comes at Night.
Okay. And I haven't seen It Comes at Night.
Okay. So there's some sort of like virus.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of why it reminds me of It Comes at Night.
Okay.
Right. So that like isolates the people.
Sure.
And then the annihilation aspect of it, there kind of has to do with like some force or something of where they're at. So it's okay. I think Annihilation is this movie times 5.
Okay,
right,
just done better.
How good it is, plot, character development, and everything.
Sure.
Absolutely. But it's good, man. Budget's good. They got some good visuals at the end. It's not bad. If you like horror, I think you would like it. If you don't really care for horror, it's probably not up your alley. But it's good, man. It's got some promising feats to it, and it's not super gory. I
was gonna say,
really small. It's like 5 characters.
If I go by myself, will I be like able to handle it, or will I want to leave the theater?
No, you'd be good by yourself.
All right, cool.
You'd be good by yourself. Yeah, it's short too. I think it's like a hour 40.
All right,
or
that's
something.
not too bad.
It's good, man. I would recommend it.
All right, cool.
And that's all I got to. So, Saws got to the theater. So I'm gonna see if I can take Nathaniel up on finishing the rest of these Saws. I think that's gonna be hard because even finishing the third one is like, oh man, I don't know how to get through 7 of these things, you know.
Right.
So we'll see. What about you, Adam? What'd you get to?
Yeah, I had a sizable list. All right list. I forgot to mention last week that the week before, I watched Galaxy Quest for my film class.
I've not seen Galaxy Quest.
You haven't seen Galaxy Quest?
No, we're just hitting like all these movies this week.
Like, dude, that's
was my first time
crazy. Galaxy Quest is incredible.
I know.
It was good. I really liked it. I wasn't really sure what to expect. because I have heard of it. I just really didn't know what it was about, and then saw Tim Allen in there. Alan Rickman was in there, and
Yeah.
the guy who plays Monk, who I always forget his name.
Tony Shalhoub.
And then and then there's one more actor. Man,
Sigourney Weaver's in there.
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver. And then who do you remember who plays Guy? He was,
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Is that Hammer?
No, it's
Justin Hammer?
Sam
Yeah.
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell?
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a rather interesting cast, but I liked it. It was fun. We talked about Star Trek earlier, and that's something that I watched a couple seasons of the original series, the one with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. I've seen 1 or 2 seasons of that, so it was fun kind of going back, and I kind of can appreciate the satire of it almost. So yeah, Nathaniel, I'd recommend you check it out. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, I think I will at some point.
Yeah, man. Never give up, never surrender is one of the best things I've ever heard.
I also got to Lady Bird last week for the film class. Which is one I've seen a couple times. So this wasn't anything new for me, but that's a really solid film. As coming of age films go, it's a little different. But it's also like, you know what you're gonna get, but I think it has some different tropes or different themes than a typical coming of age story that I really, really like.
Yeah, Lady Bird's
are you
great.
a fan of that one, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I love Lady Bird. It's Greta Gerwig, I think, is a unique talent. Particularly, she has a really good voice for film, and her filmic voice is very strong. And I think she's got a really natural knack for kind of capturing those really kind of awkward moments of being human. And she does a great job in Lady Bird. She does a great job in most of her stuff. So I'm pretty excited to see what she'll do going forward. And Saoirse Ronan's always awesome too.
Yeah, she's great. And Timothy Chalamet, he's also really good in that. And the whole theme of last week was like auteur theory and authorship with film. And so because we watched Little Women earlier in the semester, and now we're watching Lady Bird, kind of comparing Gerwig's directing style and stuff. But what really stood out to me was I talked about a little bit when I talked about Little Women, is how like different Timothy Chalamet his roles are.
Sure.
But just how good of an actor he is, and how perfectly he plays both roles, because he's so charismatic in Little Woman. But in this one, he's like the complete opposite. He's like more of an introvert, kind of a douchebag. You can kind of describe him as, and it's so interesting to me how good he is at switching that persona.
Yeah, there's a lot of film critics that are arguing now that auteurship doesn't actually exist.
Sorry, you went robotic for a second.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
You're kind of still robotic.
Good.
Yeah, a little bit.
How is that now? Are we better now?
No, not yet. Here.
Very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, there's nothing that's changed on our end.
Here we go. Now you're back.
Okay.
Now you're back.
Unbelievable.
Wild.
So what were you saying?
I don't even remember. Oh, I was saying there is a lot of film critics that argue that the auteur theory doesn't exist. That it is impossible for there to be one single author of a film, and that it's always a combination of several people on there.
That was one of the critiques that that was one of the critiques of the auteur theory that we went over, was like there are so many creative decisions to be made that it's impossible for one person to make all of them. And while some have greater creative control than others, like Tarantino is someone who constructs his film almost from the ground up. There's just it's impossible for one person to have complete control over every single thing,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I Lady Bird's great. If you haven't seen it for some reason, that's definitely one worth checking out.
Did you get to anything else?
Yeah, I got to How Much Your Mother and Demon Slayer. Continuing on with both of those.
Okay.
Demon Slayer's getting good. I just got to the spider fight, Nathaniel.
I really like that one.
That one's it was really cool. I really want to crank out the last few episodes of the season and then watch the movie as soon as I can. I'm very busy with school right now, so
Do it.
but I will definitely get that done. And then the last thing I got to was Gone Girl, which I watched for the first time.
Ooh, how'd you like that?
Fincher.
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, that's good on first watch.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Because it plays with your expectations a lot, where you're kind of like, oh, this is how the story's kind of gonna go, and maybe this is what's good. The twist is gonna be, is like, I don't want to say too much because saying too much about the movie, spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it. And even though it's older, I still don't really want to do that. But it kind of leads you to think, this is what this movie's going to be about. This is what you're going to have to kind of decide. This is what it's going to reveal. And then I would say a little before halfway, or maybe right halfway, you kind of realize what the actual twist is. And then it goes from there, and it gets even crazier. So really, really enjoyed it. Ben Affleck was really good in it. And like you said, Nathaniel Fincher is always good to watch, because I like everything I've seen him do. And if you want to talk about an auteur, if they do exist, of course, he, I think, could be considered one of them.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good example of someone that modern audiences would call an auteur. I like Gone Girl a lot. It's a good movie.
Yeah, man.
It's
Gone
really
Girl is
solid.
good.
I think it's on. I think we watched it on HBO Max. If you're interested in checking that out.
Yeah, it's on there. I almost clicked it.
Really good pacing.
Great pacing. The story's told really interestingly as well. And how they structure, again, don't want to say too much, but how they structure the information one character is giving you, versus how the actual story progresses.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you know what I'm trying to work around here, Nathaniel.
I'm following.
Tracking.
Yeah, very, very good though. For as far as like kind of, I would say that's kind of a thriller almost, or a mystery.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a very good one. Yeah, that's all I got for what we're watching. I guess we can head on into the main review segment here.
It's about that time.
Nathaniel, it is about that time. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of our review segment here at Back Row Banter?
Well, if you have forgotten, or if you're new, welcome back. And the way our main review segment works here on Back Row Banter is basically I'll introduce the movie a little bit, kind of talk about what year is made, basic information that you'll need, directors, actors, anything like that. Actually, Adam will talk to you about that. But then we'll also go through the IMDb summary of the movie, kind of break that down, see what we think about it, and if that's going to convey to you enough information. At that point, we'll review it, at that point, we'll decide, yes or no, do we recommend this movie to you? Has to be a yes or no, because there is no nuance on the internet. Once we've figured that out, we'll go into the spoiler section. So anything that we couldn't spoil beforehand, we'll talk about. Try and keep everyone online, and dive a little bit deeper into our thoughts and our ideas on the movie itself. After we've talked about everything that we can talk about, we'll welcome everybody back and see where this movie ranks on our Entropy list, which is our big old list of everything that we've watched on pod and ranked. So now that we've said that, Adam, why don't you take us away here? This is Dunkirk.
I am happy to take us away, Nathaniel, but I just remembered something that we have not addressed yet.
Oh.
This is episode 50, guys.
Oh, my goodness. That is true.
I kind of forgot.
Yeah, look at us. Way to go. We probably should have brought that up at the start of the podcast.
We really should have remembered. It's at the show note. It's on the top of the show notes. It's entitled episode 50, but
I saw that. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, man.
Whole
we didn't acknowledge it. And
half
it's
100.
funny because we kind of half of 100. But it's funny because we built up to it so much the past like 2 or 3 weeks.
We did talk about it a lot, didn't we?
We just forgot about it. We can maybe talk about that more at the end of the episode. But this is Dunkirk, directed by and written by one Christopher Nolan, another auteur. This is based on a true story. The actual events, I don't know how closely those are based on a true story as far as like the characters and stuff like that. But the event of Dunkirk really happened. So I had a bunch of soldiers, 400,000 as this movie states, British troops stuck on a beach in France as Germany was invading France. And so basically their entire army was stuck, and they had them get them across the English Channel. But they really couldn't because they were getting struck down by so many U-boats. So eventually they employed, I forgot what they call it, the civilian reserve or something like that, the small ships reserve, something like that. But the Navy had to get civilian ships, smaller vessels to float or to sail across the channel and try to transport all these soldiers, hundreds of thousands of soldiers, in smaller vessels rather than the bigger cruisers because they kept getting taken down by the U-boats.
400,000.
Very interesting story. 400,000. Yeah, I think I said that earlier. But you left Ty. You don't care.
You're slightly AFK.
Had to get hydrated. You know, it's important.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Viewers don't know, but I also left to go to the bathroom real quick.
You did, but I didn't call you out, son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, I didn't pretend to jump in on the conversation like I was here the whole time.
Boys.
That's the whole point. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, the IMDb summary reads as follows. Allied soldiers from Belgium, the British Commonwealth and Empire, and France. Let me read
That was
Allied
rough.
soldiers. Allied soldiers from Belgium, the British Commonwealth and Empire, and France are surrounded by the German army and evacuated during a fierce battle in World War II.
Well, I didn't realize it actually gives you these people's name on here. So that was written by Robert Page. Robert, that sucked.
Wait, where does it say?
If you actually like click on the synopsis, it'll give you other synopsis too.
You're on your phone, right?
I am, yes. So on mobile, maybe.
I'm on the website. I'm trying to do that and I can't. So
Well, never mind then.
unfortunate.
We're coming for you, Robert.
Regardless, this is starring. No, the biggest name is probably Mark Rylance and then Harry Styles. As I'm looking at this
Tom
cast,
Hardy's there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Tom Hardy,
I'm sorry. I forget about Tom Hardy just because you don't see his face much in this movie. But
Right,
yes,
yeah,
he's one of the main characters. So Tom Hardy is probably the biggest name.
Kenneth Branagh's kicking around.
Sorry, what was that?
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh. Yeah, he plays the commander. Solid cast though. I mean, I felt good about all the performances. Some of them talk more than others. There's not a ton of dialogue in this film, which I think plays into the film itself. And just how petrified you can be from war to the point where you're just not even you can't even. There's no words to describe it. So it's how are you gonna communicate everything you're feeling in
It's
that
war, man.
It's war.
Crazy.
Yeah. Any other IMDb things that are worth mentioning here, Nathaniel?
Came out 2017, written and directed by Chris
2017.
Nolan. I think that pretty much sums up everything that you got on there, man.
Yeah.
So whose first
hour
time was
46
this?
runtime.
This was my first time.
Blake's, yeah.
And then I've pieced this thing together, but this was my first full
Full
sit-through.
watch. Got it.
Yeah.
Adam, you saw this in theaters?
Saw it in IMAX,
Oh,
which was one of the better IMAX viewings that you can get because
No doubt.
the sound of this is incredible. And when you watch an IMAX, or maybe I would love to watch this in like a Dolby Atmos theater or something, but you really do get the planes coming from behind you and then towards you, and the bullets going left, front, right. Like you really, the sound design is great. It's probably one of the best parts of this movie for me. And you lose a little bit when you're watching. I mean, I have a good sound bar, but you lose that when you don't have surround, you don't have IMAX. And I think this movie will definitely gains a lot if you watch it with a sound system like that. But that being said, still really, really good. Sounds great. The movie's great.
yeah. This was actually the first movie I saw at the Dolby, and can confirm Dolby's awesome with this movie.
Dolby's
going
great. Yeah.
I like
Do you prefer Dolby to IMAX, or does it kind of just depend?
I prefer Dolby to IMAX unless it's shot in IMAX. Because if it's not shot in IMAX, then it's chopped on the sides.
It's
This movie,
stupid.
this movie would be a good example of it because a lot of this is shot in IMAX. So, as you can kind of tell, which is one of my issues with the movie, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
This is my second time watching it. Overall, I like this better the second time actually than I did, and I think it's grown a lot in my opinion. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I want to hear about from Blake and Tyler, who was this first time.
Yeah, sure.
I'll go first. It's good, man. Well, I mean, I like it. I'm not an idiot. I knew it was going to be a good movie. It's a Nolan film, right? So I'm already kind of aware. Cinematography is awesome as expected. The score is awesome as expected. The cast is awesome as expected. You can see there's just a shit ton of money put into the movie. and they did everything right with it. I wouldn't say it's Nolan's best film, but I mean, I think all his work is good. He's really good at building up tension in this movie, like Adam said, where there's just not a lot of dialogue. So you can just see it. Rather, I mean, it's people swimming, the pilot trying to get out of the cockpit when the plane is drowning, sinking, I should say. Yeah, man, it's good. There's a lot of times he kind of tense up, and I like it, man. I'm not too big on war movies, but this one's got my vote.
Ty?
Yeah, I really like it. You really kind of just hit all the main points there, Blake. So I'll just kind of play off you a little bit. It's shot really, really well. Christopher Nolan does such a good job at not only what's in front of the camera, but your foreground and everything like that. It's really incredible how much he can put into a shot and really make you see everything that there is supposed to be in this movie.
I think this is his best looking movie.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see everything. Yeah. Things are historically correct. It's just done really, really well from a camera standpoint.
The men on the beach with the foam coming in.
It's so good.
Like, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
The aerial shots of the beach
absolutely.
Yeah,
his action directing in this is like the best that I've seen.
Yeah, when you get like the shots coming off the bridge and everything like that, like it's
so easy to follow. It's clear. You understand where the camera is at all times. You know,
for as little dialogue as there is, I'm not like ever super lost in this film. Because I understand what's going on. I get the gist, but you're right. I think part of that camera work and part of how he tells the story with the camera itself, you don't need the dialogue, and I think that's just a great filmmaking aspect in and of itself.
Yeah, it's got a great sense of scale. He knows what he's doing with the camera. Obviously, he's showing us that time and time again. So, that's probably one of my biggest things about this movie. The other biggest thing is obviously the score. Again, when you get into the accuracy of like how guns sound and the dad hitting on how those are Rolls Royce engines, and you'll never hear anything like that. And it's things like that. It's the little things that make this thing feel so much bigger and so much more accurate to what it's supposed to be. And it really brought it all together. There's real fear. There's real tension. I'm a big fan. I like war movies. I grew up on like Saving Private Ryan, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
It's
Black Hawk Down,
Stripes.
Stripes, obviously. Yeah. Down Periscope.
Yep. Red October. It's good. I'm a big fan. I'm in.
Adam, you brought up sound design earlier, and I think you're right. It's shocking to me watching this now how much
it matters.
Well, no, not that. Just how much. No? Of course, it matters. No, I'm saying that. I'm saying how much I felt it has changed between this and Tenet, between two movies. Like it's crazy to me how like it was
3 years too.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me how different that because the sound design in this is just so tight. It's so action packed. It's so interwoven into the story. And I felt like Tenet was just. This is the main complaint that a lot of us had. Is just you can't hear half the movie.
And I mean, you get it right away in the beginning when he's running, and the bass is going with his footsteps.
Yes.
And it's really, really great.
Brandon picked up when we were watching it yesterday when the dive bombers come in. They actually pre-key you in with like a synth kind of high-pitched whistle first, and then you hear the actual engine of the bombers coming in. Again, we're on a little bit of a different system here, so that may be something that maybe you can't necessarily pick up on like a standard sound bar, but like if you are watching it in IMAX or something like that, or on a nicer system,
facts,
you'll be able to hear those things. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this one. Since then, it's gone very high up my list of Nolan movies, just because. I think it's just because I haven't seen it as much as obviously I've seen like The Dark Knight or Inception or something like that. But I still think from an emotional core, I think this may be Nolan's kind of most complete film in that sense.
Yeah, I can see that. But then again, this is this is something that happened, so he's got to.
Yeah, but I
play
think
true to that.
you know the criticism on Nolan a lot of times is he's got this kind of wooden or you know overly flowery kind of exposition style or something like that. And I think with the dedication to the minimalism of the dialogue in this one, you understand what each character is thinking in this movie without them giving you anything. Like
100%.
the performances in this movie and what Nolan was able to capture and convey in those scenes, I think is just some of the best directing I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
But you know, it just proves you don't need, you know, crazy amounts of dialogue for it to be compelling and for you to understand exactly where you're at. The power of the moving image is so innate. But anyway, should we talk about spoilers or kind of deeper thoughts, I guess?
I was just trying to look it up for you. I'm trying to figure out it looks like the sound mixer of Dunkirk actually ended up retiring shortly after making Dunkirk.
Oh, wow.
And then Tenet is mixed by Richard King,
Okay.
who's done other films with Nolan and done other films in the past, but that would explain the difference in quality.
Yeah, it might a little bit.
I think like Nolan's grandma or like someone that he holds very near and dear to his heart said like I couldn't really hear it, so on his next one he's just like we gotta jack this thing up.
Well, I was thinking about this earlier today too, because I believe Nolan's half British, and I believe he moved to the States in like when he was like 15 or so. So like his younger brother Jonathan doesn't have a British accent. Nolan or Christopher does, but Jonathan doesn't. And I always wonder too if maybe like because of that he's got kind of a wider ear for accents, and so he can like pick up stuff a little bit more than like we can or something like that.
Sure.
Because that was something Brandon and I were talking about either too. There's a lot of breadth of different British accents in this movie that you kind of have to be there for, and without the subtitles, I can definitely see how it gets a little bit hinky in some areas.
Yeah, I watched it with subtitles. Did you guys?
Yeah, it did.
I did
no.
not.
I watched.
Yeah.
Upon Nathaniel's recommendation, ever since we watched Green Room, I've turned subtitles on for everything.
To be honest with you, I'm with you, and it might be the exact same reason of Green Room and Nathaniel.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good, man.
Do not
Like, I
apologize.
can't
That
turn it
you
off
turned
now,
me on
right?
to the best thing. It's changed watching movies for me completely because I never
For
have to
sure,
worry
bro.
about what he say or I
Yeah.
miss a plot point, and you don't realize it until you turn on the subtitles. But often in movies, there's a lot of like background sounds that are like dimmed down or inaudible or just like background noise that sounds inaudible, but there's actually lines that are being spoken that are important to the story that you don't get without subtitles.
Yeah.
I just wrote one of my paper my paper for my film class on Black Klansman over the weekend, and I was rewatching it, and there's two lines that I would have never have gotten without having subtitles on that are very pertinent to the story and to the movie and its message that I was writing about.
That does bring up last week when we were doing Mortal Kombat. Tyler and I watched it, and there's this line where Jax is like, I think he's fighting back, and he says, we didn't watch that one with subtitles on because this wouldn't have happened otherwise, but Jax is fighting back, and he's like, I believe the line he actually says is, I've got tricks too, motherfucker. But to Tyler and I, both of us heard him say it and looked at each other and said, did he say I'm 6'2", motherfucker?
Okay, that's funny because I saw that in theaters. So obviously there's no subtitles, and that's what I thought he said.
Yeah.
I'm 6'2", motherfucker. But I'm like, there's no way that's what he said. But I didn't even bother trying to
Just
figure out what it
bragging.
If that's his real line, then that's incredible. That's the best line I've ever heard.
6'2", motherfucker.
Yeah, just
I might start using that.
Oh, it's the best line for like if you just like pull off something great in COD or something like that. Just I'm 6'2", motherfucker.
That's gonna be my go-to. That's gonna be my who do you think you are? I am. That's gonna be I'm 6'2", motherfucker. Oh man. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a recommend all around.
Yes, recommend for me, recommend for Tyler.
Yerp.
Yep. All right.
Just
well,
no.
I think we're gonna head into
Actually, no.
spoiler zone.
Ooh, let me know and then I'll key us in.
All right. But if you haven't seen Dunkirk and don't want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where I have left a timestamp that you can jump to go to the ranking Hupapon. The entity list.
Hupapon.
Spoilers.
Shit goes
Shit
down.
goes down, man. A lot of shit goes down.
Yeah, so this one's just like it starts and it doesn't let up. How did you feel about the time, Adam?
It's interesting because I remember in the advertising of the movie, they advertised the fact that it's 1 week on the beach, 1 day in the boat, 1 hour in the plane. Like that's kind of what they advertised it as. So I knew that going in, and I knew that watching it this time. But I kind of forgot about it going in. I remembered it partially through the movie, but I forgot about it going as it started, and I kind of remembered that. But without knowing that going in, you kind of don't know how the time is working, and they never really explain that. And I wish there's really no easy way to explain it. And I think that's kind of just why he just kind of ignored it and left it to the viewer to figure it out what the time scale is like. Because you do see them you see the stories cross over, of course.
Right.
And they all converge on one another, but it's not entirely clear how long they're on the beach for, and it is for an entire week, and they're jumping in between days. So I wish that was something that maybe kind of tried to address in some way, maybe just saying like a day 1 on the beach or something at some point in the movie, because they did have a few of those where they said like the location of it, and maybe do something like that, but. Yeah, I mean, Nolan plays with time constantly. Tenet, Inception,
Interstellar.
Interstellar, like that. That's something that, again, if you want to talk about auteur ship and auteur theory, that's something that would be a hallmark for a Nolan movie, is him playing with time. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Tyler, Blake, first time coming into it, did you feel like let down or any way confused with that kind of stuff?
No, I knew they were hitting different parts in time. I didn't know that the beach was a week. I didn't. Well, I guess I'll go for that. I didn't know the time limits of all of them, but obviously that you could tell that they can converge in one specific area. But yeah, it's very cool to see how those things come together and how important each one of those things are in that specific time frame. I think this is the only part that makes me mad.
Him burning the plane.
Yeah, I wish, like, go put yourself down in the water. If you knew you were going to blow the plane up, just go put yourself down in the water and then let one of the boats pick you up. You're an important guy.
He's a badass, man.
Yeah, he's so cool. I love Tom Hardy in pretty much anything he does.
He shoots out like 8 planes in this one, man. Like, he goes for it.
Yeah, man, he's a beast. Yeah, I think I've said that multiple times on pod that I'm just a big fan of Tom Hardy. Yeah. It's cool because like this is he's still kind of like got a little bit of a bang voice because he's got the thing over his head. How much fuel do I have?
I love it, man. I think he does such great wordless acting in this movie with he does so much with the looks to the fuel gauge and just like everything that he's got going on there. Yeah, I actually went into this blind the first time I saw it, and I didn't know about the 1 week, 1 day, 1 hour trope before the movie started.
It was part of the advertising.
Yeah, apparently I never got that advertising sent to me or cued to me or whatever. Like what is it? Fed or whatever. But yeah. So I remember watching it and being like a little bit confused with it, figuring it had to do some sort of thing with time because we knew that Nolan always does time. But the fact that how it kind of ended up playing out, I always thought it was really interesting. The fact that they do converge, but it is just for that one moment, really, when they're all in the kind of the same area at the same time. I really like the different guys on the mole. The Finn Wittrock, Harry Styles, I think is great in this. He's actually really, really good. Yeah. The French gentleman, I don't know what his name is. They're all, I think, excellent. Kenneth Branagh. Go ahead.
The French actor is Honorin Barnard. I really don't know how to pronounce this. It's Aneurin, so Anurin.
Okay.
Maybe. Barnard, but
anyways, he was awesome. Mark Rylance has just such a good decency about him. Kenneth Branagh too in this, I think, is great. I love when he's his last line, "I'm waiting for the French" and everything. Just a really, really, really well done movie in my opinion. Harrowing as all get out. So many times, like all the drowning scenes in this are just horrifying. It's a movie that made me realize that how much like death in war is not from a gunshot or not from being blown up or not from being anything. It's just the ship goes down and you can't get out.
Yep.
Yeah, or you know, you're on the beach and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, and that I think just especially coming off the year we had with COVID and everything and just and all that, it really brought that to the forefront for me. And I think as I was kind of alluding to earlier, I think for me this is Nolan's most emotional centric movie where the core emotions of the movie I think are conveyed the best that he's done so far. All of his other movies have this really slick, beautiful, cerebral approach to them. There's a lot that I love about them, but the emotion has always been a little bit of a tough thing for Chris, and I think he really nails it on this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think a lot of that comes from the characters, and you do feel really attached to them.
Yeah,
'Cause
Hardy, Killian Murphy as well. I don't know if we brought him up.
Oh yeah, that's another great one too.
Yeah. He's got a good role in here too. So, yeah, man, it's good. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I'd say if it's Nolan's best work, but I would say it's up there. Just off the top of my head, after watching this one time, it's not super long, right? It's under 2 hours, so it's really digestible.
An hour 46, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
which usually I say, oh, an hour 46, and it felt pretty brisk. I don't know why, but this one felt really long.
I think it's just the sense of scale that he gives you
Yeah,
and how he shoots things and the way that he plays around with the camera. He just makes it seem like it's so much bigger, and that you actually get a lot of single people in a shot, and he kind of carries around them for a little bit, and he does it in such a long take that it kind of plays this hour and 46 almost into like you feel like you're sitting there for like 2.5 hours. And I think that's also just because you mainly expect to be in a 2 hour plus movie with Christopher Nolan.
I was surprised when it was 145, you know.
Yeah,
me too.
One criticism I do have is I don't necessarily feel like I think everything is plotted extremely well, but I do feel like the main story, I guess you could call it the main story with the guys on the beach, the mole. I don't necessarily that doesn't necessarily feel like a week to me.
Sure.
The other one feels like an hour, and the other one feels like a day.
Yep.
But that one just feels like he doesn't quite nail it. And I think Adam, you actually brought up a good point. If he had marked it out with more time codes of like day 1, day 3, something like that, I don't know if it would have made it better. It definitely would have made it more digestible. That's an interesting idea you've brought up there. Overall, I wonder how. I
think would have explained it more to people who are going into this blind and don't know the time scale. Like
sure.
There's just, to me, it doesn't seem like there's any storytelling device to show us that how much time was passing, what time was passing. Like you kind of jump back to the beach. It could be the same day. It could be 2 days. It could be 3 days. It turns out it's gonna be. I think it's a full week is what I remember, but. Without any kind of narrative device to tell us how much time is passing, you really don't.
Well, and you do forget too that there may have been like a day or two on the backside of it when they're home too, because that's the only storyline that goes up past when they've actually returned back to the thing. Well, no, I guess the ship is there too, but you follow them for a little bit longer too. So I think
a little bit,
you might have like a day or two on there on the backside too.
Of course. Again, we don't know because there's
and that's that's the beauty of it. I love the idea that just surviving is enough. I love that moment that you have with Harry Styles at the end where he can't look out the train and then he realizes that they're cheering for them and everything. Yeah,
they're celebrating him.
Yeah.
Nathaniel, something you brought up earlier that I have actually written down is like one of my main critiques that isn't a knock on. It's not a knock on the movie itself and the story or anything, but the switching between IMAX and the regular 4 or the regular 16:9, it definitely takes me out of it. A lot of times there didn't seem to be much consistency in when he was using IMAX versus when he was cutting back and forth, and so you jump a lot of times back and forth between shots that are going back and forth between IMAX 16:9, IMAX 16:9. And then while it's not a huge deal to the movie itself, it does take me out of it a little bit every time I notice that we're not in IMAX anymore. And I would just wish there was a little bit more consistency in how long he was using the IMAX for, and then maybe switches it back to 16:9 and keeps it there a little bit longer. It just felt like he was jumping back and forth so much.
Yeah, I was thinking about this a little bit afterwards too, and I came to the conclusion, or my best guess may be that the IMAX, it may be a limit of how you can move the IMAX camera and what they can be mounted to and everything. So the IMAX cameras are obviously quite a lot larger than your standard 16:9. So if he's shooting a scene a couple different ways, then all of a sudden they need a camera like on a boat or something like that. It may be that the IMAX camera can't go there. And then later when you're stitching the shot together, you'll need those other shots for like an editing purpose of a reverse shot or a reaction or something. And you just kind of have to live with it. But yeah, I agree with you. If I had my druthers, the whole thing would be shot in IMAX, and I'm sure Nolan thinks the same way. But it just kind of is what it is at that point.
Yeah, it was just something I wanted to bring up because you mentioned it earlier.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Again, it doesn't take away from the structure of the movie at all, the narrative or anything like that. But from a viewing perspective, it does just take me out of it quickly every single time that I'm really immersed, and then I'm like, oh, switched.
Yeah,
and
I'm with you.
Small, but I think it happens. It bothered me so many times that it just kind of built up to a little bit of a bigger thing than I normally would have considered it. All right. Do we have any closing thoughts here on Dunkirk, gentlemen?
I think as a war film, it stands out pretty well. I'm a little bit burnt out on war film. I think we were talking about this maybe off pod a little bit earlier. It was a little bit before we were recording. So now to get me in, I think they kind of need to have something that sets them apart and is a little bit more unique. And I think this really does that for me. So yeah, positive review in my book.
Okay. Does this crack your top 3 Nolan? That's a question for all 3 of you guys.
That's a great question. I haven't seen all of Nolan. I've seen a lot. I haven't seen Memento.
Sure.
But I know what he does as far as playing with time and that. And then I haven't seen The Prestige. I don't know if there's much else I've missed.
Yeah, this might be.
Insomnia I haven't seen.
At the very least, this is number 3 for me now.
Okay.
I think Dark Knight and Inception. You might have some. You could toss those around. But for me, I think this is at least number 3 on there. It depends on the day yet. And again, it may just be that I've seen both of those quite a bit more than this one, obviously, too. So.
No, yeah, for sure.
I think I might agree with Nathaniel. I think as I'm looking at his IMDb, the only other one, Dark Knight Rises, is probably number 1, just because that movie it's incredible. And a lot of that's due to Heath Ledger, but I still think it's an incredibly directed movie. But
you mean Dark Knight?
2, sorry, did I say Rises?
You did, yeah.
Dark Knight. But Interstellar, I would have to rewatch because I haven't seen it since theaters. I haven't rewatched it since theaters, so I'd have to rewatch that. But I definitely think it's top 3. I think it's really, really good. And as a war movie, as a World War II set or period piece, I think it does incredible. That's something we really didn't talk about much, but the setting and how he builds it, the costume design, everything, it feels very, very, very good. The detail, just the smaller details in like the flags or what they're wearing and everything. I don't know. It just felt very well put together as taking place in World War II, which, some movies set in World War II or World War II movies do better than others. And I think this one does it really, really well.
I'd agree, man. Live sets and everything. I think these planes are actually like from something I think they've kind of bought from that time period.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As well. So yeah, you can tell they just went all in, dude.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it breaks top 3 for me. Interstellar's really, really great.
That's the other one.
I was surprised nobody said that.
Man. Interstellar is a killer movie for me.
It's that would be the other one that would be in the argument for me as well.
Yeah. I think
big fondness for that one.
Yeah, Interstellar and Dark Knight and Inception are some of the greatest things.
I might like Interstellar more, but I think Dunkirk might be a better movie.
Yeah. It's very close. It's very, very close.
Nathaniel, like what you said about that. I think Interstellar I might like more just because I love science fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
But Dunkirk is a very solid narrative and narrative movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Have to give it a little more time. Let it marinate. But let's see where it ranks on the Entropy list. Can we do that?
I would love to see where it ranks. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Dunkirk, Upon. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is how we review movies. Instead of giving them a rating, we're tossing up all in a mixed bag here together. If you'd like to view the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Yeah, I was looking at this earlier today as a prep thing, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a tough one, isn't it? And there's a chance these could be all over the place, I feel.
Yeah, this is Nolan number 3, if I'm not mistaken, because you got Tenet and Inception on there.
Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
Yeah.
So we kind of got to, this is for me is definitely above Tenet.
Sure, I think we'd all agree with you on that.
So it's at least going above where's Tenet at right now, 29. So it's at least 28. That's the floor for me. The ceiling, who knows? Blake, where's your ceiling at, man? Where you putting this?
Ooh.
First time.
I
I feel bad going back to back weeks here, but it is you are the first time viewer.
I think there's tough.
Man, Adam,
I think there's a gap between E2 Mama Tambien and Requiem for a Dream and Kill Bill.
Okay.
So, and I have a soft spot for Kill Bill, but I think I'm gonna put it. I wish Requiem and E2 Mama were switched, but I'm gonna put it above E2 Mama.
Wow. Okay. So you're gonna have it at 14.
So, yeah, 14, right below Judas and the Black Messiah, above E2 Mama Tambien. Okay. That's solid. Ty is the other first time watcher.
I think I want to go there too. Man, Kill Bill's really throwing me for a loop right now.
Yeah, I got a soft spot for Kill Bill.
Yeah, that is true.
Fuck. Yeah, I think man, 13 maybe? Man, fuck, I don't know.
All right, if you're still deciding, I'll help you out a little bit. I will say I'm putting it at 13, right below Green Room and right above Judas and the Black Messiah. For me, this is like such a great film as far as a piece of filmmaking goes. And Judas and the Black Messiah, we had our issues with, even though it was great, very powerful, very, very moving message, and great acting, incredible acting in that movie. I just think for me, all around, this is a much better film. And I have a soft spot for World War II because I had a binge of it a couple years ago where I was just like reading a ton of World War II novels, watching a ton of movies, and then Call of Duty World War II came out. Like I was just all in on it. And so this movie came out like right before I went into that. And so it just, I have a soft spot for it. So I think 13 is where I'm going to land, right below Green Room.
Sure. I think I'm gonna be right there with you.
13.
Yeah, I was really fighting between that and the Black Messiah, but man, that's hard. I don't know. I guess where Nathaniel's at. Nathaniel might be lower.
Yeah, like as much as I praise this movie now, I've got this one actually at 17.
Really?
Right above Boys in the Hood, right below Kill Bill.
Yeah. Once Ty mentioned Kill Bill, I was like, oh man, that is great.
That was the struggling point for me too.
Yeah.
I wish some of those things are flipped. We say that every fucking week, so
right?
I kind of feel the same way. But yeah, that was the struggling point for me. I liked it more than the two above Kill Bill. Did not like it more than Kill Bill.
Yeah, see, I think it's right under Kill Bill, and I truly think Boys in the Hood is right underneath this one too. And then I think there's a little bit of gap between 17 and 18, and then I think there's another little bit of gap between like 20, 21, and then like it's just interesting where we're kind of landing there. So yeah, right now I've got it at 17. I don't know where that averages out at. Is that going to split the difference on some stuff?
Average out to 15.
Yeah.
I guess 15 or 14. We can, I guess, tie break it if you guys would like.
Let me see. What's 14?
14 Z2 Mama.
I'll look up Requiem here.
Dunkirk's a 7.8.
Requiem is an 8.3. What's Itamama looking like?
Let me find out.
I got it right here. It is a 7.6.
Hmm.
What did we say Dunkirk was?
7.8.
7.8. So
Do you want to split it and have it? Because by that logic, then Requiem should be higher than both of them. But
Right.
That's
what I'm
true.
saying. It's
That's
tough. I mean, I guess it would come down to what are you guys willing to give up then? I mean, are you willing to give it up?
I've become unemotional about the
Ichimama
entropy
or
list at
above?
this point.
What's up, bro?
I said I've become unemotional about the entropy list at this point. Like, once we kind of decide the range, I'm kind of cool with wherever it goes. I mean, if you guys want to split it, have it like, have it at 14 right above Itumama, I'm cool with that. If you want to have it right under Itumama, I'm cool with that too. If you want to have it 17 below Kill Bill, that's fine too.
I'm personally super cool with that.
I mean, you're welcome to change your rake, and I mean, like I said, Kill Bill is definitely one where I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
dude,
that's
I love Kill
It's
Bill.
a tough one to put it above.
I'm gonna put it under Kill Bill. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, you're switching it up. All right, so then we got
Yeah.
that changes things a little bit because we got 2 at 17, two people ranking them at 17. Ty, are you still sticking at 13 with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might stick it as well. So then I guess the middle ground would then be 15.
Yeah, just split it.
Yeah, we can just split it there, I guess.
sure.
So Dunkirk
deal.
ranked 15 on the entropy list here, right below Itamama Tambien and right above Requiem for a Dream.
Nolan he's shooting a high percentage. He's not shooting
He
as
is.
good as Denny
He
V
is.
though. Denny
No,
V
that is
shooting
true.
a very high percentage.
Denny V got in early too.
Yeah.
And as much as we talk about like everything on there, the top 10 has also not really changed a lot either.
Nah.
No, it hasn't.
So maybe next week.
The
Maybe
newest film in the top 10 is probably Get Out.
no, I think it's Your Name, isn't it?
Your Name is number 2.
Oh no, Get Out. You're right. I think you said Get Out. I thought you meant Green Room. You're right. I think it is Get Out. That was recent.
Yeah. Your Name might be around the same time though. Those might be like January.
Get Out was episode 40. Your Name is episode 41.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
well, there you
so
go.
I'll say February. So yeah, it's the last thing we've had crack top 10.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what the next thing is because it was not Dunkirk, and maybe, just maybe, it could be The Notebook.
That's right.
What we're reviewing for episode 51. Gonna go. That's a great question and one I should have had answered before we started recording, but I can find that out very quickly. The Notebook. We decided we kind of want to do a romance. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. HBO Max.
Okay. Cool.
Hold my head up high. It's been a
Ready
while.
over there. This is a early Ryan Gosling
And Rachel McAdams.
What do you want?
and Rachel McAdams.
It's like one of my all-time favorite memes
Tyler's-
when Leah
Tyler-
and I
Tyler's
are
on a
fighting
roll.
about food.
What do you want?
This is what I'm excited for. This is, I think The Notebook for a while was like kind of like a joking movie where like guys don't like The Notebook, but girls love The Notebook.
Yeah, it was the go-to
Honestly-
comedy answer.
Yeah, but I love it.
I always liked it. I was never ashamed to say I liked it. I just like
Yeah.
it. It's a
No
good
such
movie.
thing as a guilty pleasure, folks.
Yeah.
There you go. Is this anybody's first time? Blake, have you seen it?
I have. I've seen it
Okay,
before.
so this
I
won't
probably
be a
only
first
seen
time.
it
But
one time though, and it was just
Sure.
like years ago.
gotcha. Well, we'll have to see what Blake thinks of that next week, and the rest of us. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review by chance?
We do not have one right now. However, I have it on good authority that a 5-star review is incoming for us. I don't believe it's passed the Apple review process yet. But
I see.
if you do give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, which you can do in-app, you can review it there, and anything you say, I will read out. But it has to be 5 stars. It could be anything you want to say within, good taste or something like that. But got to be 5 stars.
Fair enough. While we don't have a 5-star review this week, we do in fact have an email from one Brandon Wozni.
What?
Actually, I'm gonna have to cut that out. I know he just wants to be addressed as the Woz. let me retake that.
It may be past that point.
Sorry,
I'm pretty
I
sure we've
just
called him
read
that.
his name out because that's what's on the email.
Just give
let
it.
me- let
Just
me-
do the old skit.
Yeah.
The bleep it out. That
Yeah.
added so much editing for me last time I did that because I did it.
Did
like
it
3
really?
times that one time. Not a ton. It was like an extra like 10 minutes.
Oh,
but
okay.
Still. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
it's
an
the
email
principle
from
of the
the
matter.
Waz, new roommate of Winterfell, new host, who new owner. I don't know, whatever you want to say. His email is entitled "Whoa." He says,
Whoa.
"Blake, what the heck? You missed the most important MK11 DLC character, Spawn. Finally returning to video games after about 17 years. His last appearance was Soul Calibur 2 in 2003.
Yeah.
As for Cole, I forgot who did the article. It might have been Screen Rant, explaining they elected to use an original character so they could have more narrative freedom, which definitely makes sense.
Yeah, they
Yep,
said
definitely
that, but
forgot Spawn in MK11.
Spawn's dope.
Spawn's cool. Have you seen the movie?
Fuck yeah.
Another one I missed.
Oh, and that movie's aged so bad, but dope movie though.
I know the big thing was the CGI cape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bad. They actually nailed it pretty good in MK11.
Back then.
Yeah.
I used to get that
if
and
you'd like
Blade
to-
confused as a kid. I'm sorry, Adam. I didn't mean to cut it off.
you're right.
Discord lag got us again.
But yeah, it strikes again.
Ads got me, Sharon. Ads got me.
Well, if you want to join Waz and send us an email, you can do so at backrowbanterpod@gmail.com.
It's that easy,
You can
folks.
It is very much that easy. You can also follow us on Twitter at BanterRow, on Instagram, Back Row Banter Pod, and on YouTube, just Back Row Banter. Please go subscribe to us there, even though if it's not your main listening destination.
What was that?
Some loud people outside my room.
Ah.
Get out of here,
Love
you sons of
living in a
bitches.
fraternity house. You know, I feel like I've made it a long while though without having any.
You really have.
That
I
is
think that's
true.
like one of the first ones.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
I put it. I have a whiteboard on my door where I write, recording in progress, do not disturb.
Yeah.
And I also put a message in the house chat. But I can't blame people. Sometimes they forget.
Yeah.
It is what it is. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd. I've given up on telling you that I'll be on there logging things because now I'm just a habitual liar. So I'm going to try, keyword try, to get on things. Yeah, that's about Letterboxd BlakeHolder. I'll be tagged on the Back Row Banter Instagram page every once in a while. Maybe if me and Nathaniel get in there for Spiral, we'll have a new post on there for that.
Absolutely.
What's that? May 14th?
Yeah, I believe that's what we said. May 14th.
Something. Yeah. So, so I'll be tagged on there. Instagram is Mr. Watercooler, and we'll pass it on. We'll go to Adam today.
Hey, I'm Adam. You can find me on Twitter at Aish24, on Letterboxd at Aish. I am much like Blake, and I haven't gone on Letterboxd in a long time to really log stuff besides the entropy list. In fact, while I look at the entropy list every week, there are some movies that have my star rating on there, and some that don't. And I should probably go back and make sure I log all those. But regardless, you can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Aish. I am moving home, like I said, in about less than 2 weeks. And once I do so, I definitely plan on reviving the stream. So
Shout out moving.
yeah, I've been playing some MLB The Show recently because it came to Xbox and it came to Game Pass, which has been fun. But I've also been playing some Siege too, Blake, on PC. Yeah, it's been a good time. Yeah, so maybe it might be streaming some of that. Maybe I'll hop on Xbox too and we can get some games going.
For sure.
Well, I'll toss it on over to Nathaniel.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd at NSGameGurk or at NathanielG92. What else can you find me on? Sandpiper Tapes, follow that. That's on Twitter and Instagram as well. Hopefully doing some more stuff with that here soon. You might see me on Twitch at some point. Tyler and I are working on the 2 Guys 1 Stream remote edition. If that doesn't work out, you never know what might happen with the future of that anyways.
Might just get Nathaniel's on Twitch.
Could be. We'll know. We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe a little Professor Nizza action.
Bit of sizzle.
Yeah.
Bit of sizzle.
No doubt.
But yeah, check out the Instagram stuff. Trying to get that a little bit more popping, and pass on over to Ty. Close this on out, bro.
Hey guys, I'm Ty. I'm gonna close you guys on out. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eltrabajo, ELTRABAJO87. Probably Thursday night, Friday night, or Saturday night, one of those three. Hopefully I'll be on there. I get my new desk on Thursday, so we're gonna get some fun stuff set up for you in the new room. And then you can find me Letterboxd, Twitter, and Instagram at Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES.
Take us
I
away.
think that's it.
Nope.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 50. Like I said earlier, we never really acknowledged it. But it's an exciting milestone. You know, I will be more excited for the 1 year episode and more excited for episode 100. But still, I think this is like our big first milestone episode.
This is a good milestone, yeah.
That means we watched
50 episodes.
what, 48 movies at least for the podcast. That's pretty
I
crazy.
think that was 49.
The
49.
entry list is at 49. I think what's throwing it off is we've had some double episodes that we don't review movies.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, the top 10
we had
episodes.
that one. Yeah, and then we also had that DC news dump episode. If you guys remember
yeah, that's
that.
right.
Yep.
Yeah,
DC Dump.
but regardless, still a lot of movies reviewed, a lot of fun. Thank all you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you
But
guys
great.
for tuning in.
Here's to another 50 and beyond
I'm
Join us
in,
next
baby.
week as we review The Notebook. We'll be RB.
Hey, thanks for coming along with us for this one, guys. Even if this is your first episode, or if it's, number 50 with us, we really appreciate you guys listening. This has been just a dream for a lot of us, and something that kept us going through, last year and everything. And it's going to be great now that it's going to be something that, like Tyler and I will always be coming back to each other for this or anything like that, even though some things have changed and everything. So be excellent to each other, and we'll be RB.
Yeah, definitely appreciate everybody, coming along. This has been really fun for us. It's something that we obviously started because we always had that bond with each other, and it's something we're going to keep going on because it's something we all really enjoy, and we hope you guys enjoy the content. If you guys have any pointers or just want to say something or whatever, you guys know how to reach us via email or Instagram or leave us a 5-star review, whatever. We always like input, and we definitely appreciate anything you guys have to say.
If you're trying to escape a beach and your buddies are on there with you, and you're kind of keeping your head down right now, why not share the pod? Let them know.
Hey,
Just
man.
say,
Hey,
hey,
good time.
You're stuck on that beach for a week. You might as well pass the time with
That's right.
podcast.
50 episodes of content.
It's a good
Yeah.
time. It's plenty of
That'll
hours.
last you a week.
But yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever you got to do. We appreciate it, and we want to grow. And just spread love. And thanks for stopping by. BRB.
Yeah, appreciate the support at all times. Don't really have too much to say today. We'll keep it pushing. Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars guy. May 5th is coming up. So I'll be the person to actually, May 4th?
May 4th.
There
May
you go.
5th. I mean, hey, May 5th is
Let's
important,
fucking wrap
baby.
it up and get out of
Cinco
here.
de Mayo.
You guys have a great week.
Bye, y'all.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Should we kick this thing off, boys?
run it.
Yeah, we can. Give me 1 second to get.
Or you want to get into like a good little flow here, or like something a little stinger combo here?
Yeah, I mean we haven't like
All right, for sure.
gotten like a great.
Haven't
stinger.
gotten
There's
anything-
things I
anything
can
yet.
piece together here.
Well, let's go on here. If you were in the armed forces, would you go Air Force? Would you go Navy? Would you go Army at this point?
I'd probably go Marines.
Great question.
Think so?
Yeah.
Thought about it a lot.
That's a good question.
Marines
Yeah.
is a solid choice. I've always wanted to be a Navy SEAL.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that would be like the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up
I
around
mean,
boats.
that'd be your thing too.
Yeah.
I feel like if you didn't go
Yeah.
Marines, I feel like you go that way. Obviously, my
But
pops was
I
in
could
the Air
also-
Force. I feel like I have a little bit of a connection there. I
Yeah.
was also kind of thought Coast Guard would be kind of cool too. They get like shit on a lot, but like they got kind of a more relaxed approach. Kind of dig that.
I think I'm with you on that one, Nathaniel.
Coast Guard would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other option would be the Secret Services, where we don't even know it's a branch of the military. That's how like.
Well, like
classified it is.
like that's where you gotta start. We're just talking about your main starting
Right,
point.
yeah.
Because
Of the-
like
of, like, the
obviously if you go to
5.
like the Navy SEALs, you want to be like part of SEAL Team fucking 6 and you
Right,
do
like-
things that like nobody knows about.
All of us, yeah. Or like one of those like Air Force recon snipers that get
Right.
just like dropped in
Yep.
100 miles behind things
Yeah.
and they just like chill out or whatever. But yeah, Pops was in the Air Force. I feel like Air Force would probably be a pretty cool place. That's like, or Space Force. Anyone down for Space Force
Space
now?
Force, yeah.
Space Force.
Lit.
I remember talking about that.
Space
I
Force
could
for sure.
convince to go to Space Force.
Tyler and I are heading to the
I'm
Space
going-
Force.
Yeah, dude, if it's anything like Starship Troopers, I am fucking down.
Space Marines.
Rico's Roughnecks.
Man, we got to do that one on the pod. Starship Troopers. We need
Man.
that on the pod pronto.
That's an incredible
I
piece
don't think
of
I've seen
art.
that before either.
I haven't.
Blake, I think you would thoroughly enjoy yourself.
Man.
Adam, I really
That's
think
like
you
a
would.
comedy though, right?
No.
No,
It's
I'm
it,
way
like,
off.
bro, it's like, it's satire, but it's like dead straight satire. It's fascinating.
Adam, I think you would. I think
But-
you would learn a lot about like what we grew up on.
But it's also like, Blake, it's also like pitch black dark comedy, I think, too. Like there's some
Okay.
elements of that into it, too.
Right. No, I'm down
All right, let me run to the bathroom real quick, and we can get this going.
Cool.
for sure.
Take a pee pee, brother.
This is
Like a Tropic Thunder. Yeah. Smells like bologna.
I haven't seen that in a long.
bro, we could do that one on the pod, too.
Dude, that's such an
that was-
underrated
yeah.
movie.
That one's a lot of, you're courting controversy if you review that
100%,
one.
but it's an underrated movie.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I actually came across something on the internet recently. You know, obviously there's just huge like cancel culture. And I think just with Gen Z, they're just not seeing Tropic Thunder how we saw it.
Yeah.
Of course.
And they were like, "Oh my god, like Robert Downey did blackface."
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like that's the whole part of the movie,
Right.
You know what I mean? So they obviously took it way out of context. They
Man,
probably didn't even watch
yeah.
it.
Oh, of course.
Just saw like photos.
Yeah. Then they think it was like yesterday. And
Right.
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 Yeah.
Or it's just like, you know, the world was a different place. It is played
100%.
for a joke. And like there's definitely an element of cancel culture that is like it needs to be a case by case basis, and like
Right.
context is everything.
Yep.
But there's also like everyone who's railing against counterculture because of those reasons. Like that's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
Like everyone's making I always compare it to like vegans. Like everyone that's like into it is louder than the people that are actually into it.
Sure.
You know?